What is up, W Sports podcasters? Jimothy and Tubby, we are back at it again after an incredible, long, and full Thanksgiving weekend of football action. So, today's episode, we're going to review all of the ways that winners find ways to win and losers just don't. So, Tubby, welcome back to the show. Let's talk some football.
Yeah, I'm ready. I mean, nothing screams fall like Thanksgiving and football on the same day. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and we started off with a great matchup: the Bears, the Lions, Caleb Williams versus a Detroit Lions team that is arguably the best team in football right
Mhm.
now. And you know what? It ended with just some controversy and a coach sticking with what he said, and ultimately it costing him his job. But before we jump the gun to that part, was there a part of this weekend or that game that's the storyline, or is it in fact the Bears finally getting it and moving on?
I think I'm going to go with something other than the coaching because we've been saying this. They should have fired him last year.
Oh
I'm going
yeah.
to say Caleb Williams grew up in that second half.
Hmm.
He came out, the first half was not great. Second half, he came out and he was a totally different player and gave Chicago that chance at winning.
Hmm.
And whether or not you want to put the end game on him for not getting team to the line fast enough and snapping the ball, whatever, he grew up in that moment and showed flashes of the player that we expected when they drafted.
Sorry, I lost you there. Are you still there?
Yeah, I got
Okay.
you.
Just showed signs of who they drafted. That's what I saw.
Yeah,
Did you say anything after that? I'm sorry.
no, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, and I 100% agree. The one, this is why I love it. He was sacked 5 times, and
Mm-hmm.
part of that was just that offensive line is terrible. But
Mm-hmm.
he got the ball to playmakers like Keenan Allen, who just knows how to find the end zone. I thought that was fantastic.
Yep.
Another big reason why this coaching staff had to be fired is they have not done a good job of helping him have balance.
No.
Caleb Williams, they passed the ball 39 times plus he had 4 rushes. That is, and they were probably
Mm-hmm.
scrambles. I don't think he had any like QB draws that I remember. That's 43 run plays to or pass plays to 11 run plays. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what they were thinking, and the fact that they had a shot to ultimately tie or win this game is a testament to what you just said. 100%
Yeah,
agree.
yeah. And then Eberflus did the most Chicago Bear thing that I mean, basically kept on script with what Chicago Bears have done all season.
Yeah.
Late game, just terrible clock management, terrible coaching, and the fact you don't call a timeout there is just absolutely insane.
And then
You,
he stuck it. He stuck to it
yeah,
at the in the press conference. Like, nope, nope, we were good, but that was stupid.
like I understand the thinking behind it. Going, okay, if we snap the ball fast, throw it in the middle. That's not what they were doing. They were like, okay, we're just gonna go for one more play real quick and see what happens. You don't give your. I mean, granted, Cairo Santos doesn't have the biggest leg, and we've seen the struggles on long field goals getting blocked because he has a very low trajectory as it is, and it gets even lower as he goes backwards. But
It's better than not getting a play.
wouldn't you rather at least give him a shot at
Hmm.
kicking the field goal? But you
100%.
call a play for him to throw it deep and then just run out of time.
Yeah, it was terrible. Not a good. But it's why they're moving on. This team was 4-2 at one point. They've lost 6 in a row. Losing on Thanksgiving Day was pretty tough. The Lions, though, they did a great job. They ran the ball extremely effective.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing too fancy, but 23-20, and they're 11-1.
Yeah. Now, did you catch the fact that David Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs had Knuckles and Sonic cleats?
Yes, dude, it's so good. That's
I
one of
love
my
it.
favorite tandem teams. Like, I hate
Yeah,
dual backfields, but they are making me love it.
yeah. I loved when I saw David Montgomery's first. I was like, no. I was like,
No.
oh. And then I saw Jameer Gibbs. I was like, yes,
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh,
My cleats, my cause thing. I'm like, that's freaking awesome that they're just
yeah.
running with it. Yeah.
Yeah. The next game in that slate was obviously the Cowboys hosting the Giants. The only thing that I literally turned this game off, I was so bored. The only thing
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have made it better was if Daniel Jones would have become the Dallas Cowboys quarterback and gone and won. I would have watched this game. Obviously, to me, there wasn't a whole lot of reason to watch it.
No,
But
I
do we
mean,
need to talk more about this game? Really, Rico Dowdle look
I
good.
I say Daddle got his first 100-yard game in his career, and that's about the only bright spot we can talk about.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Drew Lock looks like Drew Lock, so does Cooper
Yeah,
Rush. Tyrone Tracy didn't get really enough. I mean, just an
yeah,
ugly game. Anyway,
yeah.
we'll move on. Packers Dolphins. Packers win 30-17. The Dolphins lose another cold weather game. Some people are saying it's still because the team's soft. I don't know what it is. Are the Dolphins a soft team or they just can't win it cold? Like, why is this? Tyreek Hill was a Kansas City Chief and he was good in the cold weather. I
Mhm.
don't think this dude's intimidated by it. I just want to throw that out there. But there's
Yeah,
clearly something that doesn't click in cold weather.
they soft.
Okay. There you
I
go.
mean, the thing is that they don't have physical players on that team. Period. Really, they don't. Outside of maybe Calais Campbell, and you could throw Jalen Ramsey in there. Other
Yeah.
than that, you got a bunch of fast guys that just. I mean, outside of Tyreek Hill, he has had success in the cold, but
Hmm.
Tua, he's not used to the cold. You tell he's not good when it comes cold. But the rest of the team, you're just soft. You
Hmm.
can't take the cold, and we saw it last year in the playoffs. Yeah, granted, it was like negative 30 degrees outside with the wind chill, but still, you just couldn't do anything. And you mean, really, the only reason why you scored 17 points is because the Packers kind of just like, well, we're up 21-0 at halftime. We can kind of
Coast.
throttle it back.
Yeah, I think that's what this Dolphins team. I don't necessarily feel like they need to go through a coaching change. I know some people have
No.
already asked for that. They're 5-7. They've had two in and out of the lineup. I
Yeah.
think they need to go find someone like the Packers did with Josh Jacobs or Aaron Jones with
Mm-hmm.
the Vikings. They need to go find someone who isn't 31 years old with an injury history or a Devon Chan
Mm-hmm.
who is explosive, but he is not a 22 carry it back guy. He
Yeah.
is 7, and then he picks the right time and he goes off,
Yeah.
right?
Can you
They just don't
imagine
have that.
a guy like Ollie Gordon in that backfield with Achan, who is a
Yeah,
bigger bruiser running back? Throw him in there and have Achan out there for like the gadgets, the passes, the draw up, interesting plays. I think that
yeah.
would be a great, yeah, he's going to be younger, and there has been some questions with him this year, but I think a big part of the Oklahoma State thing was just Oklahoma State was just bad.
Bro, any information on that, you can go back and listen to
Yeah.
yesterday's episode where we talked about college football. Good news
Mm-hmm.
is we didn't talk anything about Oklahoma State and the 3-19 that they are. But I just want you to know we're not biased. We need to talk about Oklahoma. No
No.
need to talk about 6-6. Okay, so
Nope.
we moved on to the good teams.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the Black Friday game, which I'm not a fan of. I'm going to be
No.
honest. Didn't like it. It was right in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
I was trying to get some stuff done at my house, couldn't because I got to pause and watch the game. But
Mm-hmm.
19-17. Um, and that's again, just like the title for the Lions, it is the title for this one. Winners find ways to win and losers don't. Literally, the 2-10 Raiders found a way to lose that game. They should
Oh
have
yeah.
won the game. Aiden O'Connell played fantastic.
Yeah.
They figured out how to get the ball to Brock Bowers 10 times. I mean, the Chiefs cannot cover a tight end.
No.
Good Lord. Sincere, was it
Yeah. Sincere
McCormick,
McCormick.
12 for 64. It was
Yeah.
Amir Abdullah, great complimentary back, almost 4 yards per carry, and they still lost.
Yeah. No, I mean, it really came down to just that inexcusable snap when he shouldn't have snapped the ball by Jackson Powers Johnson, which I love Jackson Powers Johnson. If you listen to the you know
Last year's prep.
yeah lead up to the draft, he was one of my favorite players in the draft. I think he's going to have a great career. It was just a bad decision to snap the ball when he wasn't supposed to, and ended up costing you the game because, granted, Carlson did miss a couple field goals. It wasn't a guarantee that he was going to make it,
Hmm.
but he's still one of the more reliable kickers in the NFL, and you had a good chance at winning that game. And it was just a unfortunate play for them and fortunate for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, so far the Chiefs have won with an incredible offense, no defense. They've won without Tyreek Hill, and no one said they could do that because it would be explosive, but they did it with a good receiving system.
Mm-hmm.
They've won it with an incredible defense, and this year they're going to win it when they should have won it.
No.
That's the tears that I have because there's no business that they should be 11-1 right now. But hey, here we are. I'm loving it. I'm living in it, loving it.
Yeah.
Um, Isaiah Pacheco was back. He broke a 34-yard run. Outside of that, he was 6 for 10 yards. So they just couldn't get the ground game going.
Yeah.
Here's the offseason move that I want. This is the equivalent to Juan Soto going from the Padres to the Yankees. So all of a sudden, I like the guy. because I don't like. I do not like it when they play him. I want to see him go to Detroit. I think that's the only other team besides. I think it's actually the only team he said he played for besides the Raiders. He loves the Raiders. He loves Raider life, but I could
Oh,
see him going
Max
to.
Crosby.
Yeah, sorry. That's
Yeah.
yeah. I don't, forgot to mention his first name, but yeah, Max Crosby.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. You can keep him in the AFC West.
I don't blame you. He is chippy. He gets under
Yeah.
Pat's skin. So, oh man, he is good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can move into some of the other games. The Commanders bounce back, put up 42 points on the Titans today. Um, that and then where is the other game? The Texans win 23-20 with CJ Stroud having a decent game overall.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it wasn't like electric, but 22-34 for 240 and a score, and then Joe Mixon had one on the ground. Between that and obviously Jaden Daniels, is there one of those that you feel more confident in? Because Daniels 25-30, but for only 200 yards, and he had a pick, but 3 touchdowns.
Mm, that's tough. I'm going to go with CJ Stroud just because he is the veteran. He's went through a full season. Granted, he's not having the season we expected him to have right now, and what that is, I'm not quite sure if it's just that sophomore slump.
That
We see
line,
it. Yeah, the line's not great. He's getting hit quite a bit this year, but I would go with him. I'd be more. I feel more confident with him as my quarterback than Jaden Daniels, just because Jaden Daniels is rookie.
yeah, yeah. But this was a good bounce back for him
Yes.
after having weeks of just not
Mm-hmm.
great play. Will Levis obviously back. He played okay fantasy wise, but not great. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
not good enough to win that game. Him, and then you had the Colts who were able to beat Drake May in the last second. And I loved going for two. Going back
Yeah.
to yesterday's episode, I think Georgia Tech should have gone for two. Why are you
Mm-hmm.
not going for two in that situation before
Yeah.
overtime? Anthony Richardson, though, 12 of 24 for 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Oh, dude. After having one good game, he's had 2 more Anthony Richardson games.
Yeah.
Should we expect anything different? 109 yards passing? What are we doing?
No, this is the guy you're getting every single type game. That's who I think of when I see him play now. And he's not as good of a passer as Jameis Winston, but
No.
it's the same thing where it's so bipolar. It's he has one great game, then he just has an absolute stinker of a game. And so,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like opposite. He can run the football. He's got a strong arm, but not very accurate. Where Jameis Winston's got the can pass the ball. Not a great runner anymore like he was in college, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way. It's just I don't know at what point will the Colts realize it. Either that or we're wrong.
No,
But
we're not.
he's never proved us to be wrong even on the previous
Yeah,
level. So like that's where
yeah.
I'm at it. Like I think we're just inevitably waiting for the next quarterback that they'll have. Which
Mm-hmm.
speaking of which, Andrew Luck is not going to be one of the like CEOs or something like that
The
for
the GM for Stanford
there it
football.
is. Yeah, he said they have some of the his interview was so Andrew Luck. It was
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Quick trivia question, real quick. Who leads the NFL in rushing yards per attempt by a quarterback in the NFL this year?
Uh, leading yards rushing it's
Per
not
attempt.
per attempt. How many attempts? Like 10? What are we
No,
talking?
oh no, it's way more than 10.
Give me Drake May.
You would be correct.
Am I?
Drake May.
Let's go.
Right now, he is on pace to break Michael Vick's record of 8.7 yards per carry. Right now, he's sitting about 8.9.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I, that's, I think, an underrated part of his game is
Mm-hmm.
obviously that. And that's something that Trevor Lawrence, they never let him do. Maybe
And we
today
know
was
why.
maybe today was the reason why, because he got absolutely trucked, and it was
Yeah,
it was not a good play.
absolutely.
I loved seeing the Jaguars, despite what are they 2-10 right now,
Yeah.
something like that, and the team they just jumped up for their quarterback, defended him.
Yep.
Obviously, we don't want to see fight in the game, but you want to defend your quarterback despite being like they still believe in Trevor Lawrence. I think that was great.
Yeah.
It's
If
just
I'm a coach, I'm okay with that. I'm
yeah,
okay with that fight. You're going to protect your player after an absolutely just dirty, disgusting play. Yeah,
yeah.
go for it. You're going to get thrown out. I ain't going to fine. I'll pay your fine for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was this dude, poor kid, cannot catch a break. I
No.
think if he ever could get out of Jacksonville, you might see it, but it may be too little, too late. It reminds me a lot of Sam Bradford.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the other team, the wildest. If I told you the team was going to have less than 190 total yards and zero offensive touchdowns, but they were going to win the game 17-13, despite giving up over 340 yards. Would you
The
believe me?
Chargers.
The Chargers found a way to beat. I mean, obviously, 4 interceptions does not
Yeah,
help, and the defensive touchdowns, all that kind of stuff. I get that.
but it's
They were
it's Jim
terrible.
Harbaugh. It's a Jim Harbaugh game. That's the most classic Jim Harbaugh game you will see. We saw it a lot at Michigan, where they just, I mean, can't find no offense, and all of a sudden their defense is good enough to get you a win because they're taking the ball away from the other team. And yeah, some of those throws by Kirk Cousins. That one in the end zone where he throws it to three Chargers defenders when the closest Falcon wide receiver is about 5 yards in the middle of the end zone. I'm
Hmm.
like, where are you throwing? And he's like all frustrated, yelling at the receiver. And I'm like, which receiver are you yelling at? They're all
Yeah.
on that side. You threw it this way.
Yeah, dude. Bijan even had over 100 yards
Yeah.
in this game. 9 catches for Drake London for 86 yards. Like he just didn't find the end zone, but like
Mm-hmm.
there's so many. This is Jim Harbaugh. He probably goes
Yeah.
home and goes, "That's how we win a football game, boys." And you're like,
Yeah.
"Dude, Coach, we didn't even get 200 yards." I don't. But yeah, 4 turnovers. 4 turnovers. They're 8-4. How much? I mean, we still have like 5 weeks left in this season. I think.
Yeah.
Once we get there, we'll see what it's looked like. But if you were seeing them in a wild card playoff game, would you be nervous if you were the other team?
Yes.
Dude, one coaching matters. Even in the
Yeah.
NFL, coaching matters, and this is it. This is why
Absolutely.
this team should be 4-8 with the
Yeah.
talent and the turnover that they had to have this year. But coaching, and he believes in his team too. Like some of
Yeah.
the sideline stuff, it's great.
Yeah. I mean, just look at the targets that Justin Herbert is throwing. Brick hands, Quentin Johnson, Lad McConkey, which I'm big
It's
on Lad. I
good,
like I like Lad, but he's not a number one wide receiver in the NFL. Will Disley at tight end.
dude.
Then you got Gus Edwards back there because J.K. Dobbins inevitably got
I
hurt.
know, I know.
But the people he's throwing the football to, this team should not be as good as they are.
Yeah.
But they are because Jim Harbaugh knows how to win football games because he knows the thing that matters the most when it comes to football is the trenches.
Mhm.
On both sides, the offense line, they went out and drafted the best, probably one of the best players in the draft, in Joe Alt. And then he was able to rebuild that defensive line with guys that most people had already discarded from the style of defense that he runs.
Yeah. 100%. I agree. Um, so we got to move on real quick.
Yeah.
The 2 games we don't really need to talk about, and there's one that we do. 2 games we don't. Vikings, Cardinals. Vikings beat the Cardinals. Cardinals are doing what they do, but the
Yep.
Vikings continue to win. And then the Seahawks versus Jets. Here's the 2 taglines. For the Jets, did we see Aaron Rodgers for his last game with them? And for the Vikings, are they scarier than the Chargers if you saw them in the playoffs? Very good.
I would be more afraid of the Chargers, and I think there's a very good chance that's the last time we saw.
Yeah.
Travis is healthy. I'm starting Jordan Travis.
Yeah, yeah.
Why
No,
not?
I might as well at this point because he's definitely
Yeah.
not there next year. This experiment has gone exactly how we talked about, exactly how you predicted from the moment he stepped foot over
Yep.
there. Yeah, and then the last game that we probably should talk about is the Steelers put up 44 points after my big mouth said that it can't. The Bengals defense can't be that bad going into this weekend, and they give up 44 with some mistakes, obviously on the offensive side by the Bengals, but this is a 4-8 team. I think 4-8 Bengals, 5-7 Dolphins. There's a good question that maybe both of these coaches are out before the end of the year. And these are 2 of the guys that a year and a half ago, there's no shot. People are saying this.
Yeah. Zach Taylor can come be the offense coordinator in Norman, Oklahoma.
You would really be grateful.
Yeah. But, I mean, so there's been 5 teams that have lost or 5 games this year that have the team lost when they scored over 30 points. 4 of them have been the Bengals. just that's the season right there. How bad that defense has been. Joe Burrow has done everything in his might to win, and that defense just can't do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, when and Russell Wilson, I said he wasn't going to have a good game. He couldn't get red zone touchdowns. I'm so mad. I should have just looked at what you were talking about when it comes to this Bengals defense. But let me ask you this: when was the last time that you think he passed for over 400 yards in a game?
Never. No, I was kidding. He's probably done it. I'm gonna say 2015.
2015? Okay, that's going pretty far back. I am
I have
so
no
far
idea.
into 2020, and I'm trying to go through his game log right now, and I see a couple 300, a 390 in there, a 322, 360. But dude, I am in
Yeah,
2019 is as far back as I'm going to go, so because that'll be 5 years.
yeah. I
Um,
couldn't tell you.
but oh, yep, there it is. 2019 against the Saints in a loss, he put up 406 yards passing. Was the last time.
Jeez.
Thank you,
He had
Bengals.
200. He had 275 at halftime.
Oh my gosh, this defense is terrible. And again, I think
Yeah,
that has to do with coaching. Like,
yeah.
they're not a team that's. I mean, they're just a softer defensive team. They've not been
Hmm.
had that identity in the past, and they do now.
Yeah. They let too many of their big name guys on defense go because they had to re-sign Joe Burrow. They're gonna have to re-sign Jamar Chase. You're gonna have to,
Higgins, yeah,
Higgins. You gave Orlando Brown a big contract, and you did address the offensive line, but it was to a detriment to your.
yeah, yeah. That is pretty tough,
Mhm.
but. What are you gonna do? Well, guys, that is the episode. But good news, we have one more thing. We mentioned it in yesterday's episode, but if you missed it, we had a November giveaway, a signed Aaron Jones NFL jersey to one of you all, the subscribers. So, Tubby, can you tell us who won that free jersey?
This jersey right here is going to our follower, Carson Hearn, filmmaker. You hear this, send me a message on Instagram, on our Instagram, the.w.podcast on Instagram. Send me your address, and I'll get this jersey out to you this week, and you should have it in your hands by the end of the week.
Let's go. What a way. And the easiest way that you can go ahead and subscribe and be qualified for that is just that subscribe, and
Yep.
you're qualified for our December giveaway, which, Tubby, we're actually going to begin giving some hints. Is that right? Is that I hear that right this week, later in the
Yep.
episodes?
Yep. This week, we're going to drop some hints.
Let's go.
You get it, you guess it right, you get 3 extra entries into the giveaway for December. So each episode starting Thursday, we're going to drop one hint, and the first person to guess it and either one of the videos or whatever gets those 3 extra entries for this upcoming. And I will say this one's going to be hard for someone to guess.
I like that. I like the challenges ones. Still feeling really good about the Drake May guest that I had, but you know what? That's just how it goes. That's another reason why you just got to listen. We are so grateful for each and every one of you who have subscribed. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that button. Share it with someone new this holiday season. That's the best gift you can give us as this podcast, and we want to just keep giving you the best podcast experience, the best sports podcast experience that you can. But till then, we'll see y'all next time.
See ya.
See you.